Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 61 review. And this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter, overall, in my personal opinion, a pretty solid episode. Yeah, it was pretty solid. We now have a sense of danger when it comes to this game, and that is Ziboma. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna say the bomber, right? I'm gonna say Ziboma, because see, Ziboma, it sounds better, right? It's like Ziboma, right? Ziboma, Ziboma. I like that. All right, but you know, we have a sense of danger from Ziboma, and then at the same time, we now have another. You know, for those of you guys who don't read the manga, that I can assume that the sense of danger would also slightly emanate from the girl who is now following Gon and Killua, because she is now seen that these two are really close friends, and I guess she respected the fact that they're on a journey by themselves, as opposed to following the other group and going with them in order to beat the game in like 3 months. That was the plan, beat the game in 3 months. But she's like, I want to try and mess with these two kids. So I guess in a way the sense of danger does emanate from her. But at the same time, when you look at the opening, you should realize that it's not going to be the case whatsoever. Right? I mean, I'm just saying. It's not a spoiler because when you see the opening, it's like, no. I'm just saying. But also, we now see that other Fam 2 members are now going to enter the game. Shalnar, Shizuku, and the other guy, I keep on forgetting this guy's name. Because to me, he's like, whatever. To me, he's so whatever. So fuck him, alright? Alright? So, Shalnar, Shizuku, and the one guy with the droopy hair, they're now going to enter the game alongside with Sphinx and Phaeton, because they're already in there. And that being said, I did notice how Machi, and I'm assuming Machi and others, they made a grave for Paku. And the thing here is that I did notice how the cross was an inverted cross, keeping the same mentality as Lucifer. So, you know, that kind of stuff right there. And, you know, I guess that was cool. If you're, like, on some, like, satanic shit. I mean, the flowers are nice, but the inverted cross, it was kind of like, you know, it raised an eyebrow. If you're, you know, if you're a Christian or a religious person. If you know what it means, fuck it. Alright, you get it. Now, what I will say, in my personal opinion, alright, one of the best scenes in this entire episode was when we see Gon and Killua. They finally meet up, because, well, Gon was waiting outside the entrance, and then we see people pass by him, and then like, we see everyone, you know, like, they sense someone is watching them, and they go in the two directions where they're being sensed, or where they feel the eyes gazing on them. And what's happening is that we see Killua. He finally comes out of the actual entrance, and then we see Gon and Killua. They head in that same direction, but they get cut off. They get cut off by some guy who comes out, and he winds up putting a tracer on Killua. And this right here, this scene was damn cool, because it's like we see Killua kind of like trying to avoid the tracer, but the tracer hits him because he can't outrun the concepts that the game revolves around, because it is the game. And Killua, he just turns around, and he's like, "What do you do to me?" And like you said, like this was fucking awesome, right? And this right here is gonna be my actual thumbnail, because you see like the actual screen, it starts to get like really dark and choppy, and it's like Killua's kind of putting like a mock Trunks. It's just like, you know, his hair starts to stand on end and shit, and it's kind of like he's powering up in like a dark version, and it was mad cool. His eyes start to get like, oh, like his original assassin eyes start to they start to reoccur. That assassin gaze that he has. And like this guy is like, yo, this kid is dangerous. And he hauls ass. Like he hauls ass. He's like, yeah, we out. And he was out. He uses return, and he returns to the city Masadora. And then going to Killua, that's when they continue on their way. And then they wind up going into like the first town that they see. The name escapes me of the town, but I believe it is the Town of Prizes, where there are constant competitions, constant festivals, constant things you can do and get prizes and win cards in return. And the first thing they see is that they see like a monthly schedule of like competitions where they can where like the goal, where the end result of these competitions will be prizes. And then like there's gonna be a rock paper scissors contest this month in the game, and they're gonna win some sort of truth. I believe so. And then what's happening here is that as they decide and debate on what they're gonna do, their course of action, they get hungry. They wind up going to a restaurant. The restaurant guy, he says, if you eat this giant bowl of pasta in like 30 minutes, I'll give you a card. They do it, they get a card, and the guy, he's like an in-game character, so when they ask him questions, they don't really know like what he's saying. Well, the guy can't understand him because he's an in-game character. His knowledge is limited to what he's designed for. And then when they finish the actual pasta, he gives him a card, each a card. And then that's when he talks about how he talks about the number system and the card system and the letter system that the cards revolve around. The first number is the number on the far left, where that number is the actual number of the card itself. That's number one. Number two is the letter system, where each of the cards are broken down into a section of letters, and the letters rankings are as follows: double S, S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and F, which is the card they had, was the third easiest is the third easiest card type to get. That's number two. And number three is that the letters sequence next to the the number sequence next to the letters is the number of times that specific card can actually be in card form. And the higher the number, then probably the lower the letter. And in this case, the number of cards that can be of this card type is 185. So clearly the card is not of a high ranking card. It's not a high caliber card. It's basically a junk card. But still, it is one of the cards that is required to complete the game. I believe so. Because, yeah, I think so. All right, now, that being said, what winds up happening here is that as they're eating, or as they're getting all this information, they hear a boom. All right, they run towards the actual and then they hear a boom. There's a crowd of people, and then they run towards that location, and then they see one of the players that they came in with the rest of Batas, the rest of the people who were accepted by Tetsugaira. They see that one of the players, he died, and apparently his stomach exploded. And unfortunately, I know it's anime, but unfortunately, I mean, look, man, in the OVA, we actually see like the actual stomach like explode, and like the rib cage like mad open and shit. In the manga, it's even more gruesome. But in this one, he's face down and there's blood. I'm like I was like, I hate censorship, man. I fucking hate censorship. I really do. But whatever, right, man? Whatevs, okay? Fucking hate censorship. What winds up happening here is that after that, they get confronted by this one guy who talks about how like he has a group of people that are trying to complete the game, and they're gonna teach Gon and Killua the ins and outs of the actual game. And after some convincing, they wind up going with the guy, and then that's when they meet up with three other members that went with them to the game at the same time. The two dudes, the black guy, the cocky guy, and the girl with the pigtails, like the curly ass pigtails. And then that's when we have the guys, and then that's when we have these people. And one of these guys is a key player, but I won't spoil it for you, or I'm not going to. And then that's when these guys explain about the card system and how they plan on actually stealing cards. Like their main function of getting more cards is by stealing cards. That's number one. Number two is that they explain how the game itself, a lot of players have been killing each other because the game is like very hard to beat. And then when you kill someone, the card that they have are going to return. And granted, even if you can't steal those cards, if you kill someone, the cards will become available in the game itself. That's number two. And number three is that they talk about Zebomber, and Zebomber, he is like a fucked up dude. He's been killing mad people and shit, and he's a major threat. But the main thing that's really key is number two, where they talk about how the game itself is a terrible game, it's a dangerous game, and we need to complete the game and get the fuck out of here, and how people are dying, and how the game is, it's just a really bad game overall. And the reason why that's the reason why number two is key is because that's what pisses off Gon. Gon gets pissed off because he knows that this is the game that his father made. And he knows that his father did not make the game for the intention of sadness, of murder, of killing. He made this game because it was supposed to be fun. Games are made to be played, to enjoy, to have fun. And that's why he decides not to go with these people and do their thing. He decides to follow Gin's original scheme, which was to enjoy the game for what it was. And Gon realizes, because even though Gon's a pretty dense dude, he realizes that human nature is what led to the killing. It's what led to the murder. It's what led to people like Zabomer and the stealing. But the game itself should not be blamed for the people for people killing themselves or killing each other and stealing and yada yada yada. That's not the game's fault. It's the people's fault. And that's why Gon leaves along Kurapika, Killua, and then what's happening here is that, you know, Gon and Killua, they do the thing. Gon thanks Killua, even though Killua is still being traced by that one guy. He still appreciates and he still thanks him, and he knows it's not a really big deal because that guy, weak ass fucker, anyway, doesn't really matter, right? And then they wind up going on their journey, and then they're being tailed by the girl with the pigtails, and there's where the entire, you know, episode ends. So, episode, in my opinion, overall, it was a solid episode. Not good, but not bad. Definitely okay. Definitely a solid okay episode. Animation was good. Pacing a little, you know, the pacing was okay. The pacing was okay. Not that great. Animation was good. Story progression, it was there. Character progression, Killua, yes. Alright, because we keep on seeing Killua like going away from that assassin mentality, and now we see him appreciate Gon for who he truly is, and we keep on getting tidbits of this over and over and over again. So not mainly character development, but more so character progression in Killua, and that's actually a very good thing. Very good thing. And considering the fact that he wants to be very different from, like, say, his brother Lumi. He doesn't want to follow that route like his father Silver, or his grandfather Zeno, or his other brother, like that one big dude. No, he wants to go his own route. He wants to be a hunter and foe. He wants to be with Gon. He wants to have a friend that he can, you know, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. So, yeah, I'm done. And this arc so far, you know, it started pretty damn good. And I'm liking the way things are going on right now. The censorship, in my opinion, is still a bitch. It's still a bitch. It's still a bitch. I mean, yeah, granted, so far the anime, censorship-wise, it hasn't been heavy, but it's still there. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I really wanted to see the exposed ribcage and, like, the guy, like, charred to a crisp and, like, blood. That's what it was in the OVA. And in the manga. And the manga was worse. But, you know, here, in the anime, you know, face down. Fuck. So, alright, whatever, I'm done. King Lightning. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment, subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Once again, the rating overall okay. Peace. Have a nice day.